All right, guys, and welcome back to class. Today we're going to start off this lesson with drawing a picture of what you think Bottom looks like after his transformation. By now, you guys should have read or completed your homework from yesterday's lesson when you were asked to read some lines from Act 3. What text evidence informed you of your drawing of Bottom? How does your drawing of Bottom help you understand why the situation between Bottom and Titania is complicated? To begin this lesson, our focusing question is, what makes love complicated? And our content framing question in our organized stage says what's happening in Act 3, Scene 1. And our craft question in our examine stage, why is distinguishing claims important? In this lesson, you will begin to consider just some of the ways that love is complicated in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Directors and actors who put on a performance of the play rely on the text to inform the way they represent the character's scenes and complications. When choosing to perform a play like Midsummer Night's Dream, directors aim to bring something new to the play, as well as remain faithful to Shakespeare's writing. In this lesson, you will think more deeply about A Midsummer Night's Dream as a dramatic performance and examine your role as the audience. Viewing the scenes of the play will better highlight the humor that results from the characters' conflicting points of view, especially the characters' views of love. So let's look at a clip, and I want you guys to think or look as you're watching. Jot down what is it that you notice and wonder about this clip.
The woozle cock so black of hue, with orange tawny bill, the throstle with his note so true, the wren and a little quill.
What angel wakes me from my flowery bed?
The finch, the sparrow, and the lark, the plain song cuckoo grey, whose note full many a man doth mark, and dares not answer nay. For indeed, who would set his wit to so foolish a bird? Who would give a bird the lie, though he cry, cuckoo, never so?
I pray thee, gentle mortal, sing again.
The woozle.
Mine ear is much enamoured of thy note, so is mine eye enthralled to thy shape, and thy fair virtue's force perforce doth move me on the first view to say, to swear. I love thee.
After watching this clip, guys, what did you guys notice? I'm also going to have this clip inside of Schoology so you can watch it again to get what it is that you guys noticed from the clip. Now I want you guys to look at handout 18A. So let's look at that together. The handout says, employ these terms in your discussion of the dramatic performance. Annotate key points on the handout and add your own notes. As you analyze the performance, ask yourself, my reaction to an event in the play. How does a dramatic performance affect my understanding of language? And how does a dramatic performance affect my understanding of the meaning? So here's some of the terms that I want you guys to use. So you've got stage directions, staging, actors' movements, actor speech. And within these boxes, you're going to see different types of actor speeches or different types of actors' movements. So you got blocking, gestures, position, level. So When you're answering the questions, I want you to use the terminology that you've learned from handout 18A. On that handout, it tells you what they are. So for instance, blocking is the precise movement of the actors on the stage. So that's precise. That means precision. That means exact. So if they go directly to the front and then directly to the side, then that is blocking, precise movement of the actors on the stage. So we're going to record some examples of the actors' movements and their expressions and share them out into our discussion board inside of Schoology. We're also going to look at how the audience reacts to Tatiana's movements in this scene. Make sure you're using your terminology for actor speech when answering this question. How does listening to the actors deliver these lines help you understand the line's meaning? Now we're going to look at point of view. So when you are watching a play, there's a point of view for everyone that's in the room. I want you to label 3 columns, kind of like when we do a T-chart, but instead of a T-chart, you're going to have 3 columns. And you're going to label the top 1 column Tatiana, another bottom, and another audience. Now I want you to consider these 3 points of views in Act 3, Scene 1. What does Tatiana know? What does bottom know? And what does the audience know? Record your responses to each question in the appropriate column. And I would use a different color if you can, for those of you who are at home. For audience, I would use green, for bottom, blue, and Tatiana, I would use yellow. If you don't have these specific colors, that's fine. You can pick 3 different other colors. Just make sure that they're distinguished from each other or they're separate. Then I want you to highlight the passage according to show what each point of view knows. So if you used green for audience, when you go in your text, you need to highlight or underline where in the passage it shows you that point of view for the audience in green. Then I want you to assign 1 color for information that is shared across all of the points. So if you've got something in Tatiana bottom and the audience's column, you're going to highlight that one in the same color. Then I want you to explain in 2 or 3 sentences the differences between the points of view in Act 1, Scene 3. Now continuing into our lesson, after you've completed your columns, I want you to write 2 or 3 descriptive sentences that summarize the differences in points of view in Act 1, Scene 3. Now on to claims. So we've been talking about this a lot. We're in our examine stage of why is distinguishing claims important. First, we need to ask ourselves, what does it mean to distinguish something from something else? When you distinguish something, guys, it means that you show how 2 things are different, or you show how something is distinct or individual or stands out from one another, or it means you separate one thing from another. We're now going to add a letter to our Cree phonemic. We're going to label this one A to make Cree into Kriya, and A stands for alternate or opposing claims. So include your other arguments. Why might it be important to include others' arguments or others' claims in your argument? One example would be that it might be important to show how your claim is different from someone else's claim so that your audience isn't confused. What is one way that you think it is important to include someone else's claim in their argument? Now looking at handout 3B, and we've looked at this article before the beginning of the lesson. Remember, this was our article, our exemplar argumentative essay, and it was over Is Pyramus and Thisbe a Tragedy or Comedy? I want you to see, is this an alternate or opposing claim? How do you know? And how does the author distinguish this claim from their own. So in this article, we already established that her claim was that Thisbe, or Premises in Thisbe, was a tragedy. But where in here is there an alternate claim where it says that maybe it's a comedy or something else? So we're going to look in this article to see where do we see the opposite or the opposing or the alternate claim inside of this essay. Where do you find something different than what the author said? The author says it's a tragedy. Is there a place in this article where it says something else? To end this lesson, I want us to organize for our content framing question, what's happening in Act 3, Scene 1? For homework, you guys need to read Act 3, Scene 2, lines 43 through 123 in A Midsummer Night's Dream, and annotate for differences in points of view. Now on to our vocabulary deep dive. The prefix in, we've looked at this before. It means to cause to be, or in, or into. I want you to look at Act 2, Scene 1, lines 206 through 208, and find the word entice. So notice that this word has the prefix in. You see it right there. I'm going to make it a little bigger. What are the clues that are outside of the word that help you guess its meaning? Knowing what in means, what do you think the word entice means? Let's look at the word enamored in Act 3, Scene 1, lines 139 through 143. Let's also look at the word enthralled, and we're going to use our outside in strategy that we've talked about before to guess what those words mean. Then I want you guys to look up those definitions in the dictionary and see if you were accurate when you did your context clue activity. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. I'll see you guys soon. As always, office hours Monday through Friday, 11:22 to 12:06 p.m.